Welcome to Tellytale. In our last episode, we asked, what is the flaw in Billy's explanation of how he found the backpack? The answer lies in the wind direction. Billy claimed he smelled smoke from the logging road, which led him to the campsite. However, the weather report indicated a stiff breeze from the west-southwest that day, which would have blown the smell of smoke away from the road, not toward it. This critical detail revealed that Billy's story didn't hold up, casting doubt on his account of what really happened. In today's episode, we shift gears to the Identikit Decision, where Watch Commander Wally Bricken must navigate a complex investigation in the Meadow. When a computer-generated identikit of the suspect is presented, Wally notices something that others missed: a fake mustache that could change the course of the investigation. Will this observation lead to a breakthrough in solving the crime, or will it raise more questions? Let's dive into this suspenseful new chapter and uncover the truth. The watch commander in charge of the unit covering a rundown part of the city known as the Meadow was Wally Bricken. An aging, overweight, desk-bound cop, Wally, in his long years on the job, had developed a thick skin of cynicism, not only out of disappointment in his fellow human beings and their capacity for evil, but also because of a deep-seated disillusionment with the will of his superiors to respond to it. This attitude accounted for his look of surprise when he joined the meeting, already in progress, up in homicide on the 3rd floor. "This'll be one of your quick and dirties," he'd told the desk sergeant as he left his office. "The Vic was just some hooker from over in the Meadow. Way I hear, she was cut up pretty bad, But for just some hooker, Captain Spate of Homicide seemed to have pulled out all the stops. While making the few steps from her office door to his accustomed corner chair for meetings like these, Wally was impressed by the presence of 2 crime scene investigators, the head of Vice and a sergeant from robbery, one of the young computer wizards from the lab. He didn't know the guy's name, 4 homicide detectives, and a captain from Highway Patrol. One of the CSI types was just finishing up. So we think it's pretty clear this was a crime with intent, not some spontaneous argument over money or drugs, and not a crime of passion either. He cut her up in the back seat of that car like he was taking a puzzle apart. Whoever did this set out to kill somebody. He held up a plastic evidence bag with a brown flask inside. There are prints on this liquor bottle, but only hers are clear. The others are too smudged. A tiny trace of some kind of adhesive on the rim here. And this is weird. See this? He pointed to a small, irregularly shaped blob stuck to the label. "Looks like a booger," someone blurted out. Everyone chuckled except the crime scene investigator, who carried on without responding. "We're getting it analyzed, now on the prints. Only her prints on the inside of the stolen car, of course. Seems kind of odd he'd be wearing gloves when he picked her up, because that could tip her off something's not right. But then, with AIDS these days, who knows? Anyway, we'll have more on the car by this afternoon. Pathology report by then, too. Meantime..." "Excuse me, Jerry," Captain Spate interrupted. "Now that Watch Commander Bricken has honored this task force with his presence, so nice of you to take the time, Wally. I think we should deal with the street canvas. That's got to get underway fast." She continued before Wally could respond. "I don't think everyone here knows Arnold Sheen Revy." She waved expansively at the young computer tech. "Go ahead, Arnold." The young man reached behind him and brought out a picture on fluted white cardboard. "I have 24 of these for you, Watch Commander," he said, holding up a computer-generated picture of the face of a male in his 30s. One of the homicide detectives, an older one, spoke directly to Wally. "2 girls on the street think they saw the guy. Said he was cruising and came down the street twice, and you know how this kind of woman peers into cars a little more carefully than others do." "This representation of the face is what they seem to agree on," the technician broke in. "Couldn't see eye color, of course, since it was after dark, but they both described the hairstyle and the mustache in the same way. Nothing remarkable about either one, unfortunately." Wally started to speak, grateful that the captain's barb had seemed to disappear in the urgency of the situation, but she interrupted again. "Right away, Wally. If you can manage that concept. I want you to get a copy of this picture into the hands of every street officer in your watch and do a blitz. Somebody in the Meadow has to have seen this guy, and the longer we wait, the weaker their memories will be." Wally looked directly at the young computer tech, pointedly ignoring Captain Spate. "These computer identikits, they're easier than the old flip charts, aren't they? So how fast can you get me some copies without the mustache?" he asked. "Without the mustache? Why do you want—" "Oh, because he might shave it off." "No," Wally replied, "because I'd say you've got evidence here that suggests it was a fake in the first place." As Watch Commander Wally Bricken reviews the evidence, a critical detail catches his eye. The identikit shows a suspect with a mustache, but something about it doesn't sit right with Wally. But here's the question. What evidence suggests to Wally that the mustache was a fake? Pay close attention to the details and clues we've provided. What might Wally have noticed that led him to this conclusion? Share your theories in the comments below. And stay tuned for the next episode where we reveal the observation that made Wally question the authenticity of the suspect's appearance. Your insights might just crack the case wide open.